thing about film is that you can edit. All right, yo, what up? It's your boy Peter Yang with Real Talk. No, you're watching. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what up? It's your boy Peter Yang, and you're watching Real Talk with Make It Rain Enterprise. So, if this is your first time viewing, we are on episode 6 currently. So make sure you check out the other episodes. Those were great episodes, great topics. The concept of the show is real simple. People have stories to tell and wisdom to share, and I just want to bring that to you guys. Now, what else was I going to say? According to this, I was going to say every episode. So how Real Talk works is that every episode I bring in a guest, and we talk about a topic, right? And sometimes we get a little bit real. So Real Talk is going to be released. It hasn't been consistent, unfortunately. I apologize. You know, a lot of things happen. Things don't go according to plan, but I'm going to try to get a consistent schedule. But the Real Talk episodes do get released weekly. Also, I want to talk to you guys about Patreon. So Patreon is very special to me. It allows me to really interact with you guys. I post my personal thoughts and feelings and my journey of Make It Rain Enterprise on there for you, but only if you're a Patreon, right? So let's see here. Before I talk about the contributions, right? Make It Rain is a brand about collaborating with communities, growing with other people. That's why I bring in people here to share insights, because I want to collaborate. Not only do I want to collaborate, but I want to grow personally and with you guys. And lastly, we got to have fun, right? If we're not having fun, then I'm doing something fucking wrong. But so that's Make It Rain in a nutshell. The mission, there's a mission video on the Patreon page too, so check it out. And then just for $5 a month, right, you can help Make It Rain grow, expand our mission. You know, once again, check that out in the video. I go more in depth into that piece. Now, with that being said, I want to introduce the guest today. We have my man, longtime friend, business partner as well, Jesse Vu, right? So, Jesse, you want to share a little bit about yourself, man?
Well, first of all, you know, like you said, my name is Jesse Vu.
Yeah,
25 years old, from Wausau, Wisconsin. Okay. And most of you know me by the name Snow, if you ever see this. And the reason why my name Snow is actually because of this guy. We met like way back then in our childhood, and you know, people kept calling it Rain. And I was like, man, fuck that Rain shit. I'm the cold-hearted version, you know. So I was like, I would be Snow, and it's just stuck with me since then. But yeah, that's how I get the name Snow. If y'all were wondering.
Yeah. So we've known each other since middle school. I would say.
No. Since what? 12? Well, I was 12. I don't know.
I think we're only a year apart, so I was 13. Yeah. So we've known each other for a while. Whenever I did come to, because at that time I think I was living in Michigan.
Yeah.
And then we would come visit, and then you were friends with my cousin. And then we just connected, and we stopped visiting.
Yeah, you guys moved down to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
and actually, it wasn't until just recently, like what,
we kept in touch though. That's the cool thing, that we've kept in touch through, I think, like MSN at the time.
Yeah, MSN.
You know, we were really dating ourselves.
Old times.
Yeah. So MSN kept us in touch. Shout out to MSN, you know, if you want to sponsor us, please do. But MSN, and then I think MySpace and Facebook.
Asian Town.
I don't know if we were friends on Asian
No,
Town.
we were friends on Asian Town. That was so long ago, but at that time, that was when Asian Town started to die, so we kind of shifted over to MySpace.
MySpace and then Facebook.
Yep.
And then I moved here 3 years ago, and then that's when we met up again. Yeah. So, you know, you meet people, right? You meet people, you know, friends, and it just, you know, sometimes things don't change. You know, in our case, it didn't change. It only got better. You know, so and then also, there's only a few people that I say this to. It's a good thing that we didn't grow up together, because we would have been, we would have wrecked havoc.
You'd probably be in jail or prison.
We would have wrecked havoc. But
we still kind of. We're more mature.
We're the PG version of what could have been. But you want to share with the audience kind of what you do, what you're about, and
Yeah,
a little bit more in
actually-
depth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, I'm actually still working at a job. Just working at Great Lakes Cheese, but on the side, I'm also working in the financial services. So what we pretty much do, we just go out there and service clients and everything to just help them in their financial needs whenever they are struggling, right? With like, they have a stroke or something like that. We're there for them and their families, and that's what we do. And actually, it wasn't because I found it myself, but it's because of this man who came and recruited me, and I was like, you know what? And the funny thing was, he didn't even have to say anything. I was like, sign me up, bro. And I think a lot of that just had to do, not just because, I was just somewhere in life where I was struggling, but I think it's because of the relationship that we had. And even though we didn't really see each other much, I had that, we really built that bond when we were younger. And, when I saw him again, I was just like, you know what, Peter? Let's do it. And he also hit me in the face, not literally, but like with some words that was like, open your eyes. I was like,
Cut him deep with the realization.
He cut me deep with real talk. That's what he did.
Yeah, real talk. That's
and then like he showed me his vision, and I saw the vision too, and opened my eyes to see a lot more wide. And I was like, you know what, Peter, let's do this, man. So
we're in business in the financial industry together. Cool, man. Thanks for sharing. So we've already kind of covered kind of surface level. We're a little deep on this topic already. So today's real talk topic is friendship, right? So we're gonna dive deep. I think we've already mentioned this too. Like we were friends a long time ago, and then I think one of the most important aspects of friendship is communication, and that's what we had. And that's why when we did meet up, it wasn't awkward at all. Yeah. It was just kind of, let's catch up on what physically has been happening or kind of in your situation, right? So I guess, Jesse, you wanna start us off with the friendship? How do you feel about friendship, man? Like,
I mean, everybody's got their own definition, of friendship. Yeah. And some people they'll take it one way or another. For me, I honestly take it as real as I can take it for myself, right? Because people's always like, I'm known as what you would call an asshole. Because people's always like, oh, why you always saying this and that? I'm like, I'm not being anything. I'm just being honest, right? Because if you guys don't know, there's a game out there called Wildlands, and I think one thing that the guy, his name is El Sueño, the main protagonist that you had to go and fight and kill. He says that. I've killed people before. I've sold more drugs to people than the biggest pharmacies in the world. I've done so many things. I've broken families, but one thing is I've never lied, right? And he says that he never lies because everything else is offense against humanity, but lying is an offense against yourself. Mm-hmm. And when I looked upon that, I was like, you know what? That's very true because, back in my days, when I was still naughty. Well, still am, but when I was more naughty, we used to do all these
boundaries back then. There was no boundaries.
And, like all these things, and I look at it, I'm like, you know what? It's very true because I've done all these things to people. I've done all these stupid things, but I never really lied because even though like if I hit someone in the face, that's not against me. That's against him. I could if I go to jail, but I'm not in jail yet. but when you lie, you're lying against not just other people, but against yourself, and it really shows the character of who you are. Like, are you somebody who's real or someone who's fake, right? And when you're lying, you're just someone who's fake, but not just fake to the world, but also fake to yourself. And sooner or later in your life, you're really going to become who you are, and it's going to really reflect your personality to other people, and it really shows if people really want to be around you, right? And even though people really don't like me, I know that.
So would you say? So would you say? So would you say like? So you have no filter, right? Is what you're saying.
Like the way how I see it is, I say the things that needs to be heard, right? Not the things that people want to hear, right? Because most of the time people, they go to somebody who's like, oh, I want you to listen to me. And then also they start speaking back like, no, that's not what I want to hear, right? But the thing is that that's something that you need to hear. And I'm not out there to sugarcoat anything, to to just be like, you know what, yeah, you're fine, you know, your world's all right. I mean, it's gonna be all right, you know, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be okay. No, I'm gonna tell you what's up. Like if you're struggling in a situation with a girl, I'm be like, hey, if she's treating like this, you need to just leave, because the way I see it is you need to love yourself, have self-worth so high for yourself, right?
Yeah.
That you just don't have time to deal with that bullshit, you know? 'cause-
Yeah, man, life's short, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got time to beat around the bush. And you know, like, so so since I've done this, you know, I used to tell people that. Well, I don't tell people this like religiously, but the people that I did interview, I would mention here and there that, you know, I'm a man of many masks. I hide behind a curtain. And the biggest thing, like with that too, man, is like I do truly believe in not having a filter, you know, when you're speaking the truth, but I also believe in like also holding back too, like on certain individuals. I would say not certain, but most individuals who really don't deserve all of you. You know, that's something that I learned on episode 3. Shout out to Veronica. But that's the biggest thing, because like I think like for me personally, I'm a man that's very I value my relationship, and I imagine you do too. Like I value my relationship, so I expect I have these unrealistic. I used to have these unrealistic expectations for people that called me, you know, their friend, and I called them my friend as well. So when I had these expectations for them, you know, of you know, they have to be there because they're my friends. You would want to. I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to have a friend that's there, you know. But it just so happens the reality of it is they're not always there. You know what I'm saying? So do you consider yourself a good friend?
I would say yeah. I would say that I'm a pretty good friend to those who actually accept me as their friends, right?
Okay.
Because I mean, you know, going off with the topic that you were saying, if you don't have expectations.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that play in factor that, you know, like I've been there. You know, I'm sure we've all been there. You know, where you needed a friend and you call them and they're like, oh, I'm busy, right? And you know, a lot of factor is, you know, sometimes maybe they really are busy, you know, like maybe that they just couldn't come up because they have something that they really had to take care of, you know. And I understand, you know, but it's the ones where like every time where you call them, be like, hey, you know, I'm doing this, you know, hey, I need you to come help me with this, or hey, I want you to come do this with me. And I was like, you know, yeah, I really can't, you know. But then like whenever they need you, right, and you're always there for them, you try your best to be there.
Availability, yeah.
Yeah. And in that fact, you know, it's, you know, you're really not getting anything from them. They're more getting something from you. And, you know, how I look at friendship, it's got to be a two-way street, you know. Like,
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, you know, I would expect, you know, somebody who calls them my friend to be like, you know, I'm busy at this, but then, you know, it's not very important. So, and whatever you need me with, you know, I'll come and help, right? And with that aspect, you know, and I understand, you know, some people, they just are busy, you know, and I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, like, so I wanna interject, like the availability and expectations and then being there for each other. I think one of the biggest things is that, like, in friendship, there's certain categories that people fall under. I think there's a philosopher that categorized friendship in 3 categories. One, you know, friends that you play with, hang out, and have good times with. Friends that you build a life with, people who you're serious and be productive with, and then the last one is friends who love you through thick and thin. And then so there's that, and then also like the availability, more specifically, right? Like people will let you know if they're gonna be there for you or not. You know what I'm saying? It's when, cause like there's gonna be a time where you need someone to be there for you, and it's gonna require sacrifice on their part. Right, and then vice versa too. That people are gonna maybe reach out to you because they feel strongly connected with you, and it's gonna require sacrifice on your part. You know, I made the mistake of having these unrealistic expectations, and I got hurt because of my fault. Is how I realized now is just because I expected everybody to be there for me because I was willing to be there for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where, like, the perspective is kind of clouded at that point, you know, because they're thinking, oh, he's just a cool friend that I hang out with, you know, and then that attitude is categorized into the acquaintance bucket, I guess. And then for me, I'm thinking, oh, he's my ride and die. He's ready to roll, you know. But come to find out, they're not, because because of whatever reason, you know. So I think with what I'm trying to get to, right, is that like in your lifetime of living, right, have you been kind of let down by people that that you considered friends?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like yeah, you know, like I'm like Logan Pierce says, you know, I'm somebody who's willing to be there, you know, because
Oh yeah, man.
like I had a buddy who lives like what, 3 hours away, and I had to work the next day, but I still went out there just for his birthday. You know, I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I went out for his birthday. Next day I called it, and that was actually my last, well, not my last point. My dad brought me up to like 9 points of my job. So the next time I call it, I'm getting fired, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm willing to risk this and do this for you, because you know it just like he's somebody who was there for me, you know, and not just that, but he's also somebody who I would consider a brother, right? And you know, and he's also my mentor in life, and you know, he's done a lot for me, and you know, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be there for you, right? And even though it's your birthday, I'm willing to sacrifice this for that, because you know, money, you know, having a job, you always go find a new job, right? I mean, it sucks when you lose a job and you don't have income, you know, but you know, at the same time, it's like it's not the end of the world. But you know, if what if, you know, the next day he never lived, you know, and he died the next day, you know, how would I feel? I'd be like, damn, like, what if that was my last time to see this fool, right? But yeah, I said, you know what, I gotta work tomorrow because I care more about money than my relationship with my friends and families.
Yeah, man. And that's the priorities that most people don't have. Or I would say people have different priorities.
Yeah.
You know, some people can relate to that, some people can't, you know.
And with that, you know, I do respect that too, you know, but like if you don't have priorities with me, then you know, I'll be like, you know, that's fine. Then we're just more of acquaintance, and we'll work together as acquaintance, you know. But
I'm a salty guy, man. You don't show up, dude. You on a blacklist. You on a hit list.
hire this guy, hitman. Get him.
Yeah. I'm salty, so if I expect you to come. All right, so okay, so like, would you say you have a lot of friends? Are you a person that's kind of out there?
I'm a person who's out there.
Yeah.
But I'm also a person who doesn't have a lot of friends. But also, I'm one of those people who prefer quality over quantity, right? Because I'd rather have a lot of I'd rather have very few friends who are very real versus having a lot of friends who are just kind of acquaintances who don't really care much, you know. And then the door, I don't know, I don't see nobody. Oh well, whatever.
Kind of freaky. Okay.
We're heading coast.
Yeah, no, this place not haunted. This place not haunted. There's tenants here.
Yeah, but what I was getting to before, you know, is I'd rather have a few friends who is really gonna be there for you, you know, versus having a lot of friends who is, you know, not gonna really do much with you, because, you know, it really plays down to every person. You know, some people don't like that, you know, like a lot of people, they like a lot of followers, they like a lot of fans, but then
shout out to me.
yeah, but they don't really interact with things like that. Oh shit, we're in trouble.
Sorry, we're looking for you. I think we saw it. Yeah. Sorry, is this a class?
No, this is like a conference room.
Oh, correct. Because as in, you guys doing film or? Oh, film. Are you do film production?
No, I just do interviews
Oh,
for YouTube.
oh, okay. Because I just trying to start a film production, so I'm looking for people who can work with me. That's what I'm asking.
Are you located in?
No, I'm in Hamilton.
All right. So, anyways, short break. So you were talking about like quality over
Oh, yeah,
quantity,
yeah.
right? So I'm gonna interject because like for that piece, I think you need quantity to find quality.
No, you definitely do, and that's where you really find who your quality people is.
Yeah.
And but then like once you really do find your quality people, you know, that's something that that I myself can probably really settle upon. Like if I already found like, you know, good few friends for myself, then I'm kind of like, you know, that's really, you know, that's all I really need, you know, because
Yeah, okay. I believe, like, okay, so I feel differently about
Yeah.
that, right? I feel like I need to gather as many people as possible, right? I mean, whether they fall into the acquaintance category or the friends or the deeper friends. I think more people, the better. I really truly believe in that. Because one, right, you expose yourself to other individuals, and then they expose themselves to you, right? You grow from that piece. And not only that, like I think the quantity piece or the quality piece, you find not only through looking for people, but over time, like you have a plethora of people that you're connected with, right? And over time, right, you call on each individual, you see who's there, you see who's not, you see who can add value to your life, and you see people that you can add value into their life, right? And you keep the ones who add value to the life closer to you, and then the other individuals you have whenever they grow up or whenever you grow up or something like
Yeah,
that.
and yeah, like I know where you're coming from too. I mean, like that's pretty much what I would do, because it's like you say, you know, it's one thing to, you know, have quality versus quantity, but like he says, you know, you gotta have quantity in order to find the quality, and that's very true, because you have to find all these friends, you know, to really find who is your real friend, right? And then I think with that, you know, it plays a lot into like what we do, you know, is as network businessing. And you know that has a lot to do with that too, because you have to find a lot of people. Yeah. You have to find a lot of people to really find those quality people who's willing to work with you and
to go to your ride and dies. You know what I'm saying?
to really
And-
share the same vision that you do.
Yeah, and the biggest thing too, right, is like building relationships. It takes time, right? I mean, it's not overnight that we became the best of buddies. You know what I'm saying?
And we did.
We connected. we connected very well. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is like to share our inner thoughts, deeper thoughts, our deeper emotions and stuff like that, to where our relationship now means something a lot more than what it did when we were younger. You know?
Yeah.
So that's the thing too, and like sometimes the people that you grow up with, you know, whether it's a long period of time that you grow up together, you know, you find out later in life that, hey, you know, we weren't really right at night, we were just kind of friends, you know. And I have a lot of those, unfortunately, but you know, but through the quantity piece, right, I found other friends who replaced them, you know. It sounds bad, but it's not really that bad. It's the reality of life. I think we put friendship on a pedestal, right? Relationships on a pedestal that don't quite belong up that high, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, because I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm trying to say, because like, I value all my relationships, I truly and deeply do, all my friends, and for those of you guys who we're not really close together, I value you guys a lot. It's just, in life, you have to really get closer to the people who help progress you to your dreams and goals. You know, that's what I'm deeply about. If I don't hit you up, it's because of that piece. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if I were to continue to treat everybody like my ride and die, it's gonna further disconnect me from my dreams and goals, from accomplishing those things. Not only that, I'm gonna be distracting people who don't quite belong as a ride and die. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing, and I hope you guys understand that piece and see that piece in your life too. Because like, that's the biggest thing I'm about, man, you know, is just your personal happiness. And you need to have a high level of self-awareness, and accept that some people are going to drop off eventually. Not only that, but some people aren't your ride and dies, you know. So there's that piece, man. So would you say like, let's see, so there's a term called frenemies. You familiar with that term?
Kinda. Does it really mean like they consider yourself friends, but they really hate you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a lot of those. I probably have more of those than what you would call friends, right? So, because you know, I have some pretty close friends who are friends with my frenemies, right? and you know they're always, you know, people is always gonna talk smack behind each other's back. And you know, my real friends who are actually standing up for me, you know, they'll actually go out there and tell me like, yeah, this guy's talking smack about you, dude. I'm just like, but then for me, I'm honestly, I really don't care. You know, if somebody's talking smack about me, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, let him talk. You know, he's actually just putting my name out there. I become more famous. Cool, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Keep talking about
Haters,
me,
man. You know what they say? If you ain't got haters, you ain't
Because
doing
if you
shit.
guys don't know, the reason why Kim Kardashian became very famous
That's 'cause
is
the
not
sex
just
tape.
because of the sex tape too, but because of all the hate she got. She got a lot of hate too. Like,
She knows,
people-
yeah, she knows how to attract that attention,
Yeah,
man.
and the same with that Catch Me Outside girl, Danielle Bagul, whatever her name is, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't like her, right? But what happened to her? She became a millionaire just because of that. People
Yeah.
just didn't like her. She came rich for it, right? And,
That's how
um,
Trump became president.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with like marketing skills, and a lot of you guys are just, oh, they're just being dumb, but you know that's actually a very powerful marketing skill. Is you have to market yourself, right? And people will market themselves in any way to become successful, and even if that means having a lot of haters. And a lot of times, you know, people think that having people who care and love you is gonna make you successful and famous, right?
Yeah.
It can, but also at the same time, it can't, right? Because this world, if you know it, human nature and natural, we're very negative. We really don't really look on the bright side of things. We're very
I
negative.
look at
right?
the bright side thing.
Well, I mean, like not everybody is, but like it's just a natural like human nature. Because if you ever look on Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there's a lot of.
All the good news, right? You maybe see like 1 or 2 shares of it, right? But something bad happens, there's like over millions
I
and
think.
billions of shares.
I think in nature. Okay, I disagree. So I think in nature people are good. I think we have good intentions for the most part. But I think for some reason, whatever it may be, we're attracted to like bad
Negativity,
things. Yeah,
yeah.
negativity. I think that's what it is. Because like mainstream media, they understand that. That's why they put out a lot of negativity, right? But I think if you were to have conversations with people, I think for the most part they have a general sense of of having good intentions and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
caring
like
about
people, they have good intentions. Just like you said, we're just attracted to it.
And I think also too, self-awareness plays a big part of it too. Is some people don't realize that, that my actions are negative, or they may not realize that I have good intentions, but I don't act on it. Because there's a lot of those people too, Like I remember when I was younger, I asked people, right, if money was a problem, what would you do? Spend time with my family. What do you do now? Not spending time with my family, and we have it in our mindset to have good intentions for other people and for ourselves, but we don't quite. I guess most people aren't quite self-aware enough to really act upon those things.
Just take action.
Yeah. So, and that can even tie to the topic, right, of friendship. Is that like, hey, like I call you my friend because. Like we really water down the word friend, right? And then when we call each other friends so like comfortably, and then when we're not there for them, then that's just kind of like, are we really friends? Or are we just acquaintances? We're not even acquaintances sometimes, So yeah, cool, man. You know what I like about you, Jesse? You like to go on a rant like I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have no point, or there's a few points in that rant, but
Words got no.
yeah.
You might hear my voice today.
Let's see here. So friends, yeah. Do you have any friends that like high school friends or elementary friends that you keep in touch with?
Actually, a lot of my high school friends I haven't really been in touch with lately because most of them are either locked up, in jail, or dead. Or I mean, they're alive somewhere, or just doing something. But we haven't really kept in contact.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a few high school friends here and there that we would kind of keep in contact with, but it's not like on a regular basis. It's more of just like he's like, hey, it's my birthday, come out, right? I'm like, yeah, sure, right. But I think my strongest friendships that I have are probably the ones that I've built since childhood, right? So like my all-time best friend, right, Jay Tao. We've been friends.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, shout out Jay Tao, yo. We've been friends, best friends, and I would consider ourselves to be brothers, even
Yeah.
since childhood, like when we were born, we met each other at church when we were kids, and we've been together since then, and then all this you where we met each other in middle school, and like you said, even though we had like distance between us, like he was far away, he was out in Oklahoma, I was up here in Wisconsin, but we kept that connection, and then when we met up again, it wasn't like awkward, and I think those are the friendships that are built really strongly upon, not just because we had a long relationship, right? But it's also because of the visions and the things we have too. Because a lot of my friends in high school that I've had, they're not the right crowd, right? I grew up with the wrong crowd in high school, and that's why I was really naughty, right? So that's why I say most of them are either locked up or dead. So that's why I'm not really friends with them no more. Because I wanted to get out, and I did get out, right? And I was like, I'm done with that kind of life, guys, and that's not me, because we're growing, I'm like, we're not in high school no more. We're becoming young adults now. We really need to advance in life, and that's what I wanted, but that's not what they wanted. So then I was like, okay, so we had to end it, right? And I was like, we can still be friends, or we can still like see each other and talk to each other, but from here on out, you guys will be walking your own path, different from mine.
So would you say like you don't have like any high school friends that you
I mean, I still have high school friends who I talk to.
Okay.
Just not as much as
They're
I
not
did back
right,
in high school.
they're not the ride or die.
Yeah.
as well.
Because back in high school, in high school I had my ride or die guys, right? We did everything together, right? That's why we did all that bad stuff. We were gonna die, but we still did it, right? But that's just because we were just being naughty, right? We were just looking to have fun. And it was like what you said before, like 3 times a friends who you played with, right? And those were the friends who I played with, right? And at the same time, I don't like hate them for it, and I honestly don't, right? I actually do appreciate them for it, because with that, it expands my vision to see what is out there, like what people will do, what people can do, and when people like that come into my life and they talk to me about those stories, I can actually kind of connect with them. Like, I used to do that when I was a kid too, and then and then I can also give insight, like that's what I used to do too, and then also now I've grown, I've matured, and we don't do that stuff anymore, right? And I think the hardest time not the hardest, I think the most struggles people have in their life is probably their teen stage, right? Because that's where they're really figuring out who
puberty.
they are. Yeah, because you're trying to figure out who you are. You're very rebellious. We don't do this. You probably don't want to do this, but
The
yet
hormones
and all that stuff.
fucking mix in.
And then once you become like a young adult, where some people go to college, some people get into business, some people just go to get a job. So you really figure out who they are, and then and at that point too, you really figure out who you can keep as friends still, or just as acquaintances. But then like you were saying before, continuously to find new friends, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know what happened, because what if all of a sudden this guy, he just don't like you no more, or you just don't like him no more, and you use friends, right? So I'm always gonna be out there, to look for people, and I'm not gonna say that I'm like the softest of words. I'm gonna sugarcoat my words, but it'll get to, I'll find people who would like to see that too and understand where I'm coming from.
So would you say like do a lot of your friends, right, or do a lot of people accept you for who you are?
I think they do. Because nobody's really come out to really bash on me, like face to face, being like, oh dude, like I hate you. I mean, if they do, I'll just be like, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Have a nice day, right? But I think like the people who know me, they know me enough to where they be like, okay, this is who Jesse is, and that's how he is. We accept it, right? Because one of my most recent friends that I really kind of made, his name is Nick Tao. You know who you are.
Shout out to my boy Nick.
I was kind of there. I remember his girlfriend, Golia, she was like, dang, Jesse, you come very hard. I'm like, that's just who I am, right? And at first when I met them, I kind of had an intention. I was like, I think they hate me. But like they told me that they hate me, right? But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I was just being myself, right? And right now, me and Nick and Golia, we're actually pretty good friends too. And like when you say, do people accept me? Is I think people do accept me, right? Because I mean, you know how I am. You accept me too. And my best friend's girlfriend Molly, she even told me, she's like, if I didn't know you since childhood, I would hate you, right?
I would hate your ass.
I would hate you. I would want Jay to be around you, right? But it's the fact that I think that she has come to acceptance to be like, that's just how he is, that's who Jesse is, and that's the way how he talks, and that's just the way how he acts upon things.
Like that's the man. That's real powerful, man. Like being accepted for who you are. I think especially over time, like we grow and we change, and then people sometimes they just can't accept who you become, you know, from when you were little to a little bit older to now, and then especially when you're trying to re-catch up with people change differently, they grow up differently, you know, and that's real big, you know, and I think the biggest thing is just don't take it personal, man. Like I took a lot of things personal. You know, I still take things personal, but that's where, you know, you amass a bunch of acquaintances to eventually find your ride and die. You know, people accept you, people don't accept you, people wear masks, you know, frenemies and stuff like that, and you just kind of filter people out. It's a you know, like, this is very important because it's going to be a long life, you know. For some of y'all, not so much. God takes you, He'll take you. But for the majority, that's just a joke. But that's a horrible joke. But for the majority, I mean, the idea is like it's gonna be a long life. You know, you're gonna meet a lot of people. You know, and you're gonna grow. Everybody's gonna grow around you, and don't expect to find your ride and die right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still young. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're a quarter century. You know, and the idea is that, you know, we still have a lot of friends to continuously make, and a lot of ride and die people to continuously make as well. So you know, if people don't accept you for who you are, don't take it personal, because they could always come back around too. You know, they grow, mature, and you continuously grow, and they say, hey, you know, my bad, you know. Or if you don't accept people for who they are too, that's totally fine too, man. I mean, they don't share your values, your beliefs. You shouldn't allow them into your life. I mean, that's totally okay, you know. Because the goal, once again, is to find people who believe in what you believe in, you know. So how are we doing on time?
It is 3:12.
When did we start?
I don't know.
Okay, let me look at this one. Okay, 36. Yeah, okay, cool. You want to do this an hour show, or you want to do?
We can keep going until whenever the topic is come to an end.
Dude, this is a great topic, friendship.
This could probably be an all-day topic.
Because it's a lifetime topic, brother.
And there's a lot of factors into it too. And like to kind of touch up like what Peter was saying, you know, and it's something that I learned from my mentor, right? So his name is Kaying Bang. And
shout out to my boy Kaying.
Yeah. So he one thing that he taught me is, you know, coming from a business mindset side and an entrepreneur side, he told me to allocate my time, right? And with that, you know, you also have to put that into consideration of friendship, right? You have to learn where to allocate your time with your friends, right? And like what Peter said, you know, there's just some where, you know, you can spend more time with because they share the same value with you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Versus, you know, the friends where you play with, right? Because, I mean, I've got some friends who, like, all they do is just drink and party.
Yeah.
And, you know, once in a while I'll go out and hang out with them to drink with them too, but, man, I don't party drink no more, right? So I'll take a few drinks, you know, just kind of, you know, keep in contact, right? But then those times, you know, with those guys, I'm not going to spend like 90% of my time with them, right? Because if I do, I'm most likely going to end up like them, right? And that's not who I am, right? I'll go drink here and there once in a while with them. But then the people who I will allocate my time with a lot more, right, are the people who is going to really help me advance in life, right? To really grow me in life and just grow me as a person, right? That's why, like, when I was willing to come all the way out here, you know, just to hang out with Peter, and, you know, it was his birthday not too long ago. And
Jesse lives an hour and 30 minutes away, so I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, and just like my buddy, you know, the birthday I went to, that 3 hours away, was actually Kaying's birthday, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, you know what, it's only 3 hours, you know, distance is no problem for me, right? So, I mean, like, you know, I'm willing to take that time to go out to see those people, right? Because they put a lot of value into me and the relationship that we have built together to really be strong, right? Because, like, you have to look at the people who are willing to do something for you that you have to also really be willing to do with them, right? And it's all about loyalty too. And one thing that my mentor said, his name is Gillis Moore. So he is our head coach and he's also our mentor, right? He says, blood only makes you related, right? But loyalty makes you family. And, you know, there's a lot of people who I'm loyal to. And like, a lot of people that I meet, you know, I'm very loyal to right away, right? Because I want to really test to see the distance they will go for me And I'm like what people say, people will come around. I'm not saying that I'm just gonna like cut ties with you if you don't come that distance, right? I'm willing to wait and have patience to really see if you really do come around, right? And that's why I'm willing to still keep a relationship with people. It's just I'm not gonna sit there and spend like 90% of my time with someone who doesn't really give me that much time, right? Because then it just really and it falls to really making a person feel like alone, because I mean that's what I did in high school, right? I was spending a lot of time with the people who didn't care about me, right? And I was spending very little time with the people who actually did care about me, right?
Yeah.
So my vision was more focused on these guys, where they were just like, oh, Jesse's just somebody to play with and party with, but not somebody to really build a life with.
Yeah.
Versus these guys, where they're like, Jesse is somebody who I really want to like have a good relationship with, to build something with, right? To actually go somewhere like that. I spent very little time with them, spent a lot of time with them, and that's where I felt like in my high school years I felt very lonely, right? I felt like I didn't have friends because the friends who I wanted were the ones who didn't really care about me, and that's where like we had to learn how to allocate our time more properly. I need to spend more time with these guys who wants to be my friends versus just not spending so much time with the people who just wants to play, right?
Yeah. So like a big piece of that is self-awareness, man. That's how big self-awareness is. And that's I'm huge on self-awareness, because for the longest time I was doing that subconsciously. I wasn't aware that I was fucking doing that. I was hanging out with all these fuckers. Call them what they are. What I'm saying? That weren't really onto anything else special in life. They were just. I mean, I don't even think they liked each other either. These group of people, and the idea is that I continuously chased them when I had a bunch of quality people that I could have been spending time with and developing my relationships with. But I don't know why I did that. Just the what they say. This is I think what it is. They say failure loves company. You know what I'm saying? And then instinctively, we kind of can gauge people, right? This guy is a loser. I'm gonna hang out with him because it makes me feel good about myself.
He's a loser, just like me.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of loser. I'm a little bit better than that guy. I don't know what it is. That's not really why I hung out with them, but I know for a fact that I hung out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with. That played a big part of my unhappiness when I was younger, and I learned later, that was the cause of my unhappiness. I mean, the self-awareness piece I was missing out on. So allocating your time is very important, but you definitely need to have that self-awareness, because a lot of people tell you
if you have good self-awareness, you will have good allocation.
Yeah.
And that's something that we learned in the financial world is, you have to be aware of what is happening to your money to be able to allocate it to a place where your money is really going to grow, right? And that's also with friendship. Like, you have to be aware that, like, for example, this guy, he's just somebody's there just to party, right? I have to be aware of that, right? Yeah. I mean, I think we are aware of it. It's just we don't really, what's the word I'm looking for? We're aware of it. It's just we don't really take action upon changing it to really be like, oh no, like this guy is someone. We're comfortable in that. We like it. I mean, I'm not saying
we like getting abused.
No, it's like the feeling when you work out and you're sore, but you like to poke it. Oh, my hands are so sore. Oh, it hurts. It's like that, But
I don't work out.
I don't either. But I used to work out, right? But I think we're aware that, like, we know these people, they party, but it's like, and like that's gonna be something that I'm gonna bring up next. But it's like we want to do that, right? And one thing that one of my old mentors back in my life when I was still in my teens, my young adult age, right? So when I was like 16, 17, right? He said this to me once. He said, "It is a good thing to follow your heart, but a lot of times you have to learn how to lead it."
Yeah.
And I think a lot of time is,
that's good.
because with the heart, I'm not saying like always lead your heart. Do follow your heart sometimes, right? Because your heart is where you feel things, right?
Yeah.
And your mind is where you know things, right? And sometimes we feel happy or we feel like we're accepted there with these people who just drinks and party, but yet we have to put ourselves over here, and that's where we follow our heart is to over here, but you have to lead it to be with these groups of friends or people who is gonna really build who you are, to really build that, right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes I don't know, this is a topic that's like a whole nother level that can be for like a whole nother episode, but I'm just gonna touch a little bit about it, is like, you really have to decipher the difference of when to lead your heart and when to really follow it. And that really comes down to, like what you're saying, is it has to do a lot with self-awareness.
Self-awareness,
You
man.
have to be aware that these people, they're gonna do this, and if your heart wants to go do that, you have to be aware of that you have to start leading your heart to that way.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that feed into my bad habits.
Yes. I'm kind of one of them.
Like I like to have fun, a little bit too much, a lot of too much, and then and I guess that's one of the reasons why I hung out with all these wrong people is that, like, because of that, like it wasn't necessarily fun, but because of the alcohol piece, you had that dopamine rush, and then you're a little bit more expressive than usual. And so, I mean, the allocation piece is very important, and self-awareness piece, because you got to catch yourself. Not because you're not going to have friends all the time that's going to be able to catch you, and you're going to need to catch yourself when you're doing something that you're not supposed to do. And then something you said too, right? The leading your heart, controlling your emotions. Is like you follow what you desire in life, right? And the biggest thing is knowing if you truly desire it, right? And not being all emotional about it, but being level-headed about it too, right? Definitely be passionate about what you do, but be realistic at the same time.
Yeah. And I think with that too is I'm going to talk about this a lot because I'm a business person myself, right? And I'm a very young entrepreneur, right? And one thing that our mentor says to us is they call it shiny object syndrome. Right? You kind of go do things, you do that, you're not very focused on one thing. You kind of just like, I want to do this, and next thing you know, I want to go do that, and next thing you know, I want to go do this, and like with that, that's where your heart is feeling like, I don't want to do this no more, right? My heart wants to go do that now. But at the same time, right, it's what he says too is a lot of successful people didn't become successful in life because they kept jumping around on that, right? They stuck to what they really wanted to do, right? And that's where you really have to be, again, self-aware, right? And you really have to have that patience, and your vision and your drive has to be so powerful that whatever you're doing, you're gonna become successful. And I think with that too, it has to do with friendship too, because let's say, like what I was saying before, like you'll have friends who you really don't allocate your time with, and then like what Peter says, like is in the future they'll come around, right? Like don't cut your ties, don't burn your bridges, still keep those, right? Because you never know when you might go back.
Very rarely you need to burn a bridge, but
those people might come back to you one day. You might go back to those people one day, and when they do come back, or when you go back, they could be totally different, right? Because let's say you go across the bridge, and I'm gonna compare people to like buildings, right? Let's say he's like a small little shed, and over on the other side you're like a skyscraper.
Not me.
And then like you just kind of, okay, he's a little shed, I'm a skyscraper, I don't want nothing to do with him, I'm gonna blow this bridge up, right? But let's say that you don't even focus on him. In the next couple of years, you're building your skyscraper, you think you're on top of the world, and next thing you know, you turn your head back, a couple years later, you see him, he's got a whole fucking city under him. And then you want to try to go back, and he's like, dude, no, the bridge is gone, man. So that's why I always say, like, don't burn your bridges and don't cut your ties, because you can go back, because what if one day he'd be the one helping you? Right? What if one day he's the one that matured faster than you and built himself higher than you, and then maybe he could be your mentor one day. Maybe he'd be one that's leading you into something, right? And that's where you really have to keep a good friendship, even if right now your friends, you guys are just like acquaintances, but like I was saying before, I'm really looking for a lot of like quality friends versus like quantity. But like there's a lot there's a lot of play you can do. This, you want to do this, but then there's also this, right? And friendship is a topic that like it's a never-ending topic.
I want to touch on what you said about like on people who can surpass you in growth, right? Like that piece is. Like sometimes, right? So I feel like in my life I've experienced people who kind of tried to compete with me for no goddamn reason. So and then they put off that vibe, you know what I'm saying, of they hide things from you, right? Whether when you're having a conversation or when you're having a conversation, and they're trying to they put up a front because they want to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty of this too. I've definitely done this many times, and then so like people put up these fronts and stuff like that to just, I guess, try to look better than you.
Yeah.
And then I've seen that so many times. I'm just like, all right, dude, whatever, you know. And then and the thing is, like those are people that you closely know too, you know. And I think that's pretty funny. I just wanted to put that out there, you know. I mean, because like, I don't know, man. Like they have an agenda, you know. They're not really for you, you know what I'm saying. So if you pick up on that, just definitely be aware, you know.
I think the funniest friend I had once was I want to go see him. he lives in a ton of Wausau, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, like I just went and bought this Lamborghini. I'm like, okay, so where's that? No, I don't want to show you because I don't want you to feel bad. I'm like, why would I feel bad? I would actually be happy for you, you know, like I want to see your car and I want to see what you've done in life, and you know I want to see where you're going. And he's all like, no, I don't want to show you my Lamborghini because I don't want it to like get scratched or anything. I'm like, I'm not gonna touch it, dude. Like, if you want me to stand 50 feet away and look at it, I will. You know, like I just want to see your car and what you've been doing in life. But you know, he was telling me he had a Lambo. He's got like this like mansion out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, okay, let's throw a party. You know, let's go hang out in your mansion, get all the guys back here. Let's go hang out and do something, right? And then he just kept saying, nah, but I'm gonna call BS on that, and I still call BS on that. I'm like, you know, if you really did have these stuff, like, wouldn't you want to be proud of it? Be like, yeah, like, dude, I got this Lambo. You want to go check my car? Let's go look at it, you know. I mean, I would if I bought my dream car now, which is an NSX, right? I'm like, hey, Peter, come out, dude, come check out my NSX. And I'll be like, come look at it, you know, because I want to share my success, and I want to share my happiness with my friends.
Yeah.
And then you got those people like what you say, you know, they want to put up a front, be like, oh, I'm better than you. And then he was like, yeah. He's like, I have a Lamborghini and everything, right? But then I don't really bash him, but the house that he was living at the moment was kind of trashy. And I was like, if you have all this money, why are you having this kind of lifestyle for you and your family, right? Wouldn't you want the best for your family, right? Wouldn't you want them to live in a house that is nice, right? And having a good life where they don't have to really do a lot of work, you know? But then he just kept being like, oh, you know, I don't want to show you all these things because, you know, I don't want you to feel bad. I'm like, I don't feel bad, dude. I actually just feel like you're dumb.
It's lack of self-awareness, man. You know, like people just can't accept that their situation is their situation, and they can definitely move, you know, and grow past it. But some people just can't accept that piece, and because of that, they refuse to move, you know, forward. So, you know, unfortunately for that guy, but not unfortunately
you know
for us. Yeah. If you're watching this, you know who you are.
If you're not locked up, that is.
So I think we're definitely over time. I'm starting to schedule these shows for 30 minutes because editing is a pain in the ass. But man, we covered a lot today, man.
Yeah.
It's I tell you what, Jesse, is a lot. This show is a lot better when there's someone who's also talking a lot.
No, and this shows too, like, how friendships can be. Because as you can see, you know, Peter's got different views from me. I've got different views from Peter's. But yet, our friendship is still tight.
Yeah.
Like, we're still cool with each other. Like, we still do a lot of things together. We do a lot of stupid things together too. And you know, that has a lot to do with friendship. Is, you know, sometimes, you know, you guys might not have the same vision, right? But then yet you still guys are still like close, you know? And I think a lot of times people, they look at it too, but like, oh, you know, you don't want to do what I do, so you're not my friend. It's like, no, they're like, I have a lot of friends who doesn't do what I do, but we're still friends.
That's a real good point too, dude.
Because, you know, I like cars, you know, I like betas, and, you know, I breed betas, I used to build cars, or fix cars, I should say. I buy broken cars and fix them, right? And then I have a lot of friends, like, so actually my best friend Jay, right? He likes cars, but he's not really that much into cars with me, you know, where he will like build a car to make it faster, you know, to fix it and everything, right? He's one of those people who he likes to buy a nice car and keep it that way, right? But yet we're still best friends, right? And I'm into breeding betas. He's not really. I mean, he likes fish, but you know, we're not in the same page about fish, but we're still best friends, right? And you know, I like to drink a lot more than he does. He doesn't drink a lot, but we're still best friends, right? And that's where you really have to really decide. Like I said, you know, with the topic of friendship, there's a lot of things into
I think
it.
okay.
It is something that humans cannot really.
I'm gonna interject, right? So you mentioned, right, like having the same hobbies is one thing, and then not having the same hobbies and still being great friends is definitely doable. It's when people don't share the same views. I think that's when most people aren't mature enough or comfortable enough to still continue to be friends. You know, and I think like there's this thing right now called cancel culture, and if you don't agree with me, then I'm gonna cancel you out, right? I'm gonna like you're totally wrong. It's my way or the highway type of ideology, and that idea is very toxic. If you're doing it, cut that shit out, okay? Because the idea, like, we don't grow if we don't accept other people's beliefs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We have to.
And I think a lot of that has to do with
coexist.
just like respect too. Like you really have to respect the person. Like
It's-
like
yeah.
when Peter started getting back into filming, a lot of people were like, "Oh, why did Peter get back into filming?" And I was like, I respect that. I still talk to Peter here and there. Like I didn't like cut our friendship, even though like.
It's your boy's coming up.
But like he said before, we were both in the financial industries, and he was running hard, and then it just got to a point where you just
slow down a bit.
Yeah, slow down. And I'm still running hard, but it's the fact that I still respect Peter for that decision, because I'm like, if that's what you want to do and that's what you pursue, do it, because I want to see him become successful, because not everybody is built right to become. I want to say like an entrepreneur because you're still doing entrepreneurship, but not everybody is built to really
Do one thing.
to really do that thing, right? Because I don't know if I am. I'm still testing the waters, but then right now, maybe Peter is too, but he's running on another schedule. Right?
I'm still an agent.
But it's the fact that I respect him for it, right? And the reason why I respect him for it is because we still have the same kind of views, right? Because your view is still to be out there to really, give your family the best life ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my view is too. I want to be out there to give my family the best life ever. But then, it's the fact that he's taking a different path from what I'm taking right now currently. We never know if our paths might end up being together. I might get into filming with him. But, it's the fact that you got to respect each other for it. You got to accept it. And,
different
the
ideology,
differences.
different beliefs, different.
And it's the point where you don't respect people and accept them for what they do and who they are, is where your friendships can really crumble.
Yeah. And if it does, then it's fine, dude. Even if if somebody can't agree with you or you just can't agree with somebody else, it's totally fine. Like I said before too, you're trying to. This is the great thing about having deeper conversations, right? Is to find out these true thoughts and feelings. You know what I'm saying? And especially with your significant other as well, you skip out on the deeper conversations to stay surface level. Just to stay on good terms, but you can't avoid it forever. There's going to be conflict of beliefs eventually, and whether you absolutely just can't agree or see eye to eye, then and if it just bothers you that much, or if it bothers them that much, if you guys decide to split ways, then at least you guys had the conversation to figure it out, right?
And I think with that, it's kind of going to go off topic, but I think with that, that's why a lot of marriages don't end up being a successful marriage, is because when they're younger, right, they keep talking about their dreams and the visions, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? Do talk about your dreams and visions with your significant other or your spouse, right? But you also have to get into the real talk too, where
Real talk.
you really have to find out what kind of person that person is, what they're going to do, what they're willing to do, right? And a lot of their actions will speak that. And because some people, they'll just blow smoke. They'll be, oh, honey, I'll give you the world. It's like, okay, I know you're not gonna give me the whole goddamn world, because there's no way you're gonna give me the whole goddamn world, right? But I know what you're trying to tell me, right? But the fact is that you also have to put into action, right? If you're gonna tell her that, but yet you're just gonna sit home, be a bum, and don't do anything, then obviously she's gonna be like, man, this fool lied to me. Cut your ass out of my life, divorce.
Yeah.
But you have to really, your actions have to play out too, and with that being marriage, that also since we're on the topic of friendship, plays a lot of roles in friendship, right? Because I have so many people, and I don't know, maybe they do miss me, right? But I have a lot of people who tell me, I have a lot of people who tell me they miss me, right? But the way how I see it is, if you truly miss me, then wouldn't you like at least contact me like once in a while, or I mean, you like to put some sort of effort into our relationship, right? Because the fact is that those people don't tell me they miss me until I contact them. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Like, oh, hey, dude, I missed you. I'm like, are you sure you missed me, or did I miss you more? Because the fact is that I came out here to say hi to you or just contact you. I called you, I texted you on Facebook.
I went, out of your ways, right?
Because I went out of my own way just to talk to you because I wanted to talk to you, because I missed you, and I wanted to have that connection, right? But where versus where, and some people, they just might be very busy in life, and I understand that too. But it's where like it's a constant, the same person over and over and over with them first before they really say anything back to you, and it's like, and it makes you wonder, like. And like I'll say, that's the action that shows up. It's like it makes you wonder, like, do they really like even consider me their friend, or am I just an acquaintance? So like more of like a stranger where they could just talk to me when they get talked to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every person is like that. Some people, they just might be very busy in life, and they just have a lot more things that they have to focus on. Because that's kind of how I am. I gotta focus myself first, before I can really be expanding out there to focus people, right? Because how can I come out here to help Peter if I'm over here dying, right? But
yeah, great point, man. Great way to finish it off too. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see where we're at. We are at. It looks like an hour. Yeah, over an hour actually. Wow, that's fast.
that felt like only 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I guess I want to wrap this up with what you started. Actually, is when you lie, it's an offense to yourself. You got that from a game. So these games, man, they get deep.
Yeah.
But
games don't promote violence.
Yeah.
They promote knowledge.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
So I really like that. Right, when you lie, it's an offense to yourself. I think that has a lot of truth in being true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the message of that quote, anyways.
Yeah.
Do you have any last words for me or for the audience, man?
Yeah. I mean, since your show is called Real Talk, I do want to hit up what the first thing I said to you. Is like you said, you have to be true to yourself, right? To be true to other people. Because if you can't be true to yourself, how can you be true to other people, right? And you have to be real. And the first person who you want to be real to is yourself. If you can't be real to yourself, how can you be real to other people, right? So, and that's where it gets into real talk, because you have to not just you have to talk to yourself, to really be real with yourself, to really figure out who you are, to really put yourself out there, to be somebody out there for people. And people want real people, they don't want fake people, because we've all had fake friends before, and we do not like that. And I don't like that, honestly. But you have to be
I'm
real.
gonna beat their ass.
Yeah, but you have to have a real talk with yourself first before you can really talk to other people to really show who you are.
Cool, man. Thanks, dude. Thanks again for being a guest on the show. I really do appreciate your time and your friendship overall. I look forward to many more years with you, brother.
No.
You have any plugins? You have a website?
I do, and I'm just gonna show it in front of the camera. But if you guys are ever in the need for anything or my services, this is my business card. I think that's in camera.
I could just take a
Somewhere,
picture
yeah.
of it and put it in the.
But that's my
edit.
contacts and everything, in my email and page and everything, guys. So.
You give me your website later.
No.
I don't know what your website is. Okay, and then cool. I guess that's all we have for today, guys. If let's see, I want to hear what you guys have to say about today's topic about friendship. This is a very important topic for me. So I do want to hear your thoughts about friendship, and what was said today too. And if you have any topics that you'd like for me to talk about, put it in the comment section.
Or if you want to get into Real Talk episode with Peter, let him know too.
Let me know too, because we do finding guests is a lot harder than I thought it was, man. I thought everybody wants to be on the show, but I guess most people don't.
Why? Because people aren't real.
Yeah. Oof, put them on the spot. Okay, and then lastly, before we go, Patreon page. check it out. I'm gonna provide a link within the description. There's a video on there too. I want you guys to check that out. It's my mission. I definitely want you to contribute, but don't contribute because you feel sorry for me. I have more self-respect than that. Contribute because you believe in the mission. If you can't afford to contribute, like, share, and subscribe, and then comment too. That's my breath of air. That is my oxygen. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.